Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Raila Odinga today attended the burial of Fred Omondi, the brother to Eric Omondi in Siaya.
And you're saying that this time has now come for Kenyan people to come together as one people and talk as one people and talk about the Kenya we want. This is the time for this. We are going to talk about the details of those engagement in the coming weeks. But we want to say that our people should continue to remain firm. God is with us. And if God is with us, who can be against us?
And I paid very close attention to Raila Odinga's speech, which was largely in Luo. And I want us to do a critical analysis about Raila Odinga's speech in Siaya earlier today. But first of all, I want to play for you this part where Raila Odinga was singing. And I want you to pay very close attention to what Raila Odinga is trying to say in that song, because I think it's less than a minute. Just pay very close attention to the words Raila Odinga is uttering from the beginning to the end. Listen in.
Nikiitwa nitaitika, nikiitwa nitaitika, nikiitwa nitaitika, kutumikia Waafrika, oh, kutumikia Waafrika, oh, kutumikia Waafrika, kwenye vita vya moto, kwenye vita vya moto, kwenye vita vya moto, twapambana kama mashujaa. Oh.
For me, I picked two very important words from that particular song, when he was beginning and the end. Raila Odinga uttered these words at the beginning, nikiitwa nitaitika. How can you interpret that? Either Raila mwenyewe, if he is called, he will answer or respond, or he was referring to Kenyans, that in case they are called, like for the demonstrations, they should turn up. That's what I got. And at the end, Raila Odinga is concluding by saying the following words, kwenye vita vya moto, twapambana kama mashujaa. That's an encouragement, encouraging people to turn up, whether the war is so vicious. For me, Raila Odinga is standing in solidarity with Jinsis. But I want us to focus on the bigger picture, what Raila Odinga stated in his speech. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to thank the following people for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today, because it goes a long way in supporting the channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me just try and break down Raila Odinga's speech. Then at the end of it, I'm going to explain to you guys my conclusion from the speech. Raila Odinga is sending his condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones. And he's also talking about police brutality, that the police were actually sent to shoot and kill these people. And Raila Odinga is then referring to the police as criminals in this matter. Remember, when William Ruto spoke about the demonstrations, he referred to the demonstrators as the criminals. So Raila Odinga is technically contradicting William Ruto's position that the true criminals are the police, not the demonstrators.
First, I want to pay condolences to all those who lost their beloved ones. We lost so many of young, promising lives unnecessarily during this last 1 week because of trigger-happy policemen who have been given instruction to shoot to kill. In civilian authorities all over the world, police are not supposed to be shooting to kill people. Police responsibility is to protect the life and property of the people of Kenya. But a police officer who goes out and becomes rogue and begins to shoot aimlessly is a criminal who needs to be dealt with in accordance with the law.
Number two, there has also been this question about the demonstrations being hijacked by goons. That is a narrative that is being advanced currently by Kenya Kwanza. And Raila Odinga is posing a question. Who are these goons? Because, goons are normally procured, they are hired. And Raila Odinga is also asking, who hired the goons? Tell us. Because if the Kenyan government cannot tell Kenyans who hired those goons, so it simply means that Rigathi Gachagua was right. In my view, that's what Raila Odinga is telling Ruto. That if you can't tell us who hired these goons, then it means Rigathi Gachagua is right, that our institution, the NIS, actually failed. Listen in.
What we saw the other day is something that was unimaginable. It's completely unprecedented in the 61 years of Kenya's independence. We never seen things like this. We've seen scenes like those ones here. We're being told about goons who have been hired. Who are these goons? No, who hired those goons? Tell us. Tell us. Who are these goons and who hired those goons?
Raila Odinga is also talking about the deployment of the military. When William Ruto deployed the military, and yesterday I did a comprehensive analysis about the deployment of the military. In case you missed it, you can check it there. And I opined that William Ruto really committed a huge blunder by deploying the military. Raila Odinga is stating something here which I think I failed to capture yesterday, that by deploying the military, what William Ruto is telling Kenyans is that the civilian authority has failed. He's the president. The executive has failed because you don't deploy military. You either have a civilian rule or military rule. So the moment you release the military to the ground, it means the civilian rule has failed. So Raila Odinga is simply reminding Ruto that probably you should resign because the civilian rule is now over. You are now depending on the military.
We reach a stage where the government has to go and even bring the military into the streets. This means the civilian authority has failed. The civilian forces have failed to deal with the people. The military are not supposed to be in the streets. Army is there to defend the country against foreign aggression, not to deal with internal strifes. And that's why it is very wrong for him in our court to rule that you can continue to maintain army on our streets. We have got Kenyan police.
Then Raila Odinga is concluding by talking about the Kenya we want. That is not talking now, but he will talk about them in weeks to come. What do you think Raila Odinga will be talking about? Something is surely cooking.
To deal with this. But we have said this so many times that the law allows Kenyan people to peacefully picket, peacefully demonstrate against what they don't like. Peaceful demonstrators should be actually escorted by police. They should not be shot by the police. So what we've seen indiscriminate bloodletting in our country is completely inexcusable and unacceptable. We condemn in the strongest terms possible this brutal use of the police force against the innocent people of our country. And we are saying that this time has now come for Kenyan people to come together as one people and talk as one people and talk about the Kenya we want. This is the time for this. We are going to talk about the details of those engagements in the coming weeks. But we want to say that our people should continue to remain firm. God is with us. And if God is with us, who can be against us?
Something is surely cooking. Now, let me come to my conclusion about this whole thing, about Raila Odinga's speech. Number one, from Raila Odinga's speech, especially the part where he spoke in Luo, Raila Odinga is not going to exit politics. And I don't want to rule out the possibility of Raila Odinga being on the ballot in 2027. I'm saying that based on his tone and the message which he delivered to his supporters. He told them, Mukai tu hapo, just remain where you are. And of course, in that song which I also played for you, Raila Odinga began by Nikiitwa Nita Itika. So if you are planning to run for the presidency and you are banking on the exit of Raila Odinga, forget about it. Raila Odinga is likely to be on the ballot in 2027. Of course, this event was also significant because it brought together the Gen Zs. Number two, Raila Odinga also explained why he's been silent over these demonstrations. And he explained that the Gen Zs asked him to stay away. So he decided not to talk. So that's why Raila Odinga is not talking, because you told him, Baba, wake up candle. Let us deal with these people. And of course, most people were very vocal about it, that Raila Odinga should not enter into the war. Deal to Ruto and Kenya Kwanza government.
Agombo, this is a message to you. Usitoke, don't come. Agombo, please stay at home. We saw your efforts, okay? We saw everything that you did for Kenya. Now let us. We miss you, but Agombo, please don't even come outside. Don't come outside. Tunatoka on your behalf, okay?
But something also came out very clearly from Raila Odinga's speech, that he's keen on the African Union job. That's why he talked about being tied. That's why he talked about Nikiitwa Nitaitika to serve Africa. So for me, that is the biggest dilemma Raila Odinga is finding himself in. He can't really come out to fight Kenya Kwanza government, because for him to succeed as the chair of the AU, he must have the support of Kenya Kwanza. So he's still very keen on that. And of course, there's also the element of the vote of no confidence in parliament. You see, Raila Odinga was explaining to Kenyans that the moment civilian went and occupied parliament, it's just confirmed that they've lost hope. They've lost confidence in parliament. So in short, Raila Odinga is calling for parliament to be dissolved. That is also one of the demands by the Gen Zs. And lastly, having paid very close attention to Raila Odinga's speech, Raila Odinga is fully in support of the Gen Z's demonstrations. Probably cannot come out publicly, but he is in support of those demonstrations. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.